right. Virtus in Veritate, welcome to FortiKast, the official radio online show of Parif Northfield's official school publication, Fortibus. Join us every Friday as we explore different issues, discover the truth, and share good vibes in our coming episodes. In today's episode, we ask, what is FortiKast? Please welcome your hosts, Linus Calderon, Anton Peza, and Lucas Bonifacio. All right. All
Hello,
right.
Mariner. Good afternoon, Lucas, and good afternoon, Anton.
Good
All
afternoon po.
right. Good afternoon, our viewers. Good afternoon to the panel, Anton and Linus. Sir Linus, sorry, Linus. Welcome to FortiKast. Today is our first episode, and we are so energetic and
That's
excited
right.
to share with you this wonderful show we have. I hope you guys are having a happy Friday. I hope you guys had a great week, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Shout out to Javi Farillas. Thank you for joining
Hello,
us today.
Hi,
So,
Abby.
we are very excited. Hi, Mr. Colon. Hi there, Mr. Colon. Thank
hello.
you for joining us. Yeah, let's do some quick shout outs before we
Today.
start the show so that we can garner more viewers. Let's give a shout. Hello to Juju all day. Hello, all day, bro, all day. I think I know who you are all day. Cheers, man. I miss you, bro. All right. So I guess we can start. So good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the first episode of Fortica. Sorry, paulit-ulit lang ako ng welcome na welcome kasi we are very excited to have you here. So again, we ask, what is FortiCast? So FortiCast is a weekly show every Friday. Here we speak of the truth, we unbox the truth while sharing good vibes to everyone. All right, it's our way of unwinding for the weekend so that you guys are chill, but also we make sure to speak of the truth as this is the code of Fortibus. So, Sir Linus Calderon, as one of the founding fathers of this show, what is FortiCast and what would you like to share to our audience?
Okay, so again, good afternoon, Mariners. Good afternoon, teachers and students of Northfield, and to non-Northfield tuners this afternoon. So, what is FortiCast? Everyone knows that we have our school publication, which is Fortibus, and FortiCast is an offshoot of Fortibus. This is our online version of Fortibus, where we gather and communicate as one Northfield community. So everyone is invited. If you want to be featured, just message us. Mr. John Bernard Kaasi is the moderator of Fortibus, and I am the assistant moderator with Atom and Lucas as host of Forticast and also involved with our newspaper. So yeah, this is the space um, for Mariners, for both teachers and students, and even for parents, for our school alumni. Okay, so this is our space online where we can discuss relevant matters, mga trending news. Okay, so everything that are what you call related sa ating especially sa setup natin ngayon. We are in a remote learning setup, so we don't meet face to face, and this is one way you know to meet each other even online. So yan yung Forticast, a space for Mariners online.
Thank you so much, Mr. Linus. And before we get to Anton, I would like to greet our very own Mr. Toralba. Thank you for joining us today. Shout out to Mr. Toralba. Thank you for
Hello.
joining us today. Happy Friday, sir. Happy Friday. So, Anton, you being one of the student leaders also who have founded Fortibus, what is Fortibus and what's one thing you would like to share to our viewers right now?
So FortiCast, as Sir Linus and Lucas said, is like the extension of Fortibus. So it's an online show that we will be doing weekly. So I suppose the two has already explained. So I want to give what you can expect over the next few weeks. So expect a lot. We're going to be discussing a lot of topics. We're going to have more Q&As, and we'll have different guests coming in. So expect a lot and stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Anton. And also, before I say some few more words, we'd like to greet Mr. John Watt. Thank you for joining us today. Good afternoon. Thank you.
Yeah,
And also,
one of our
I'd
uh,
like to give a wonderful shout out to one of our alumnus. Yeah, Jacob Sunga, also an ex-member of Fortibus.
yeah,
Miss you,
no,
bro. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining us. All right. So, just to get a bit technical with you guys, to paint a picture of how we do things here in Fortibus. So, we actually have three segments for all of you. First up, we have 2 cents. Now, 2 cents is a segment in which we introduce the topic and we actually give our commentary and thoughts on this subject. Usually, we have a panel or a new guest in this segment, but today it's just going to be us because it's our first episode. So next we have our in focus. This is actually derived from the one of the sections in our publication called In Focus. It's similar effect. We pin down on a certain opinion, a certain issue, and we talk about it and just give our sentiments and share tips on about it. And lastly, we have our segment called With the Mariners. This is where we cater to all your shout outs, to all your questions and inquiries. So I hope you guys are very interactive with us. And I can see that the comment section are really roaring right now. So I can't wait to answer and give all the shout outs that we have today. Thank you so much for joining us. But then again, the main objective of FortiKast is just to make it positive, wholesome, and meaningful for all of us as we unwind for the weekend. So thank you so much. Before I proceed, once again, we are always accepting writers. All right. So if you want to join this team of journalists and producers for the show, please give us a thumbs up or hit us up at our facebook.com/fortibusnf or email us at fortibus@parifnorthfield.edu.ph. Don't worry, because the people that you see here leading FortiKast will be the same people who will cater to your concerns. All right. So now I'm pretty sure you guys are dying to know who we really are and why we advocate for this type of stuff. All right. So we move on to getting to know the hosts. So I guess the panel, I'll be the last one to introduce myself. All right. We actually have a special guest behind the scenes, guys. So you'll be very shocked who this person is. All right. So let's start with Mr. Calderon. Kindly introduce yourself to the viewers.
Okay, so I am Mr. Linus Calderon. I am a senior high school teacher in Parif Northfield, and I teach ICT. I teach media and information literacy, and I also teach contemporary Philippine arts from the region. I am the assistant moderator on FortiBoost, so if you have comments and suggestions on how we can improve the show, please feel free to comment because we will keep on improving this our format for you guys. So that's it.
All right, thank you, sir. Before we proceed to Adol, I'm sorry, our comment section is so wild right now. I'd like to give a lot of shout outs first. First of all, Eric Santos, Guten Tag. Guten Tag. Buenas tardes, Professor. Thank you for joining us today. And also, Mr. Arcigal. Shout out to my grade 1 to 4 boys. So to the grade 1 to 4 Mariners, if you guys are watching us today, a big shout out from Mr. Arcigal. Now, Anton Peza, kindly introduce yourself and say one thing about you.
Hi guys, my name is Anton Peza. I'm grade 12. So one thing about me is I'm actually the senior editor of Fortibus, but for the school paper proper, not the show. So I'm actually one of the people in the background, usually, supposedly. But today I'll be hosting with Lucas and Sir Calderon. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anton. So before I introduce myself, I'd actually like to call someone very special. Okay, he's one of the glue that pieces this whole thing together. So I'd like to call in Agu Sikia. Hi, Agu. Can you introduce yourself to the
Good
viewers?
afternoon, Lucas. Good afternoon, fellow mariners, teachers, friends, and viewers in general. Sorry for having no cam this afternoon because I can't. But yeah, I'm the technical guy here. Everything that happens behind the scenes, I have something to do with it, and that's pretty much it. Good
Wow.
afternoon once again.
Thank you,
Thank
Agu.
you, Agu. Sinasabi nga nitong mga ating mga viewers, bossing Agu. Thank you so much, Agu. He is our technical staff, guys. And lastly, me. Hi, guys. My name is Lucas Bonifacio. I'm currently grade 12. I'm a senior. And one thing about me, I guess, is I really love listening to music. So if you guys would like to share some music recommendations, make sure to hit the comment section. And also just saying I'll be the point person for FortiKast, and I'll be the person you'll most likely see in every episode. All right. So that's actually it. And a shout out to one of our esteemed alumni, Alfonso Siquia. Guys, thank you for joining us today. He's the brother of Agu.
Hello, Alfonso.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So now we're actually transitioning to the second half of today's episode. And I'm pretty sure our viewers are dying to know how we run the show. how this show works, and with all the segments I mentioned a while ago, I'm pretty sure you guys want to know how this works. So, welcome to our first episode. We actually prepared a topic beforehand. So, to our panel, allow me to dive right into it. So, we begin today's episode with our 2 cents segment, and we ask, what is stress for you and how do you handle it? Now, before you guys get to answer, a shout out to all our viewers. If you guys would like to share your sentiments or your tips on how to handle stress or anything under stress, please feel free to comment, as we will make sure to read and accompany all your questions later. So, let's start to hear from the teacher's perspective. Let's hear from Sir Linus Calderon. Sir Linus Calderon, what is stress for you and how do you handle it? Considering that this academic year we have already passed about 9 to 10 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong, no?
Yes.
Naka 9 to 10 weeks na tayo, and I'm pretty sure we share the same sentiments. Not gonna lie, stress is really eminent for all of us, both students and teachers, and we do our best to be patient. No, so let's start with Sir Linus. Sir Linus, what is stress for you, and how do you handle it?
Yes, before I answer na, our first topic for pilot episode is very stressful. Stress agad. Yeah, and yeah, why it's very relevant kasi we are into week 9 of our remote learning setup. At least for Northfield, we started back in July. In public school, they will start the classes in October 5 pa, di ba? So, but many schools, many private schools have started their classes. So, yeah, so ito yung first topic natin. Why? Because everyone this day is getting stressed because of the setup. Okay? So, andyan yung virus, andyan yung coronavirus, then andyan yung work from home or study from home, di ba? So, for me, yung stress, it is a physical and an emotional tension, no? May mga positive stress kasi minsan yung stress, ito yung nagpo-push natin to accomplish things. Pero, pag nawala na yung stressor and stress ka pa rin, yan na yung anxiety. So, negative stress na to. And stress ay hindi lang nakaka-apekto sa ating emotionally, but it also affects us physically. And it manifests through body pains, di ba? And yun nga, yung ating pagiging moody, sometimes ano rin yan ng stress. So, yun. So, physical and emotional tension due to external factors that we can control. So, ito yung stress sa akin. How about you, Atom, ano yung stress para sa'yo?
I think we almost have the same answer. So it's basically the emotional or physical tension that we have due to some circumstances, some events. And as you said, there could be physical stress and there also can be negative stress. So for positive stress, it actually can motivate us to push ourselves further to complete something that we really want to complete. But there's bad stress that could happen, and that could lead to things like physical pain, as Sir said, then mental block, then anxiety. So that's just it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful discourse. Allow me to share. I'd also like to give my 2 cents on stress. So, stress for me is basically anything that maybe pushes me to the limit. I don't know if that made sense, pero wala, tatagalogin ko na lang kasi nawawalan na ako ng English, sorry. So, para sa akin, stress kasi yung parang hindi mo ma-control, hindi mo talagang out of bounds na talaga sa'yo, hindi mo na talaga lang kung anong gagawin mo. And usually, let's face it, nagagalingan nito usually stress sa school, stress personal life, keeping up with all those expectations and stuff like that. But then I remember one thing that I learned from my personal development class. Big shout out to Mr. Rehensha, our SEV moderator and also a personal development teacher last year. And that was save the situation. You can never, you can't control what's happening right now, but you can control how you react to it. Kasi it's true. I mean, it really depends on how you interact with this stress. We have our own stress relievers. And for me, speaking of those stress relievers, how I handle it is basically me listening to music. I'm a really big fan of listening to music. And I can probably share it in the next few episodes when we have a musical segment. All right. So that is actually how the 2 cents segment works. So excuse muna tayo. Okay. So dear viewers, I hope you guys are enjoying so far. That was the segment called 2 cents. I hear a lot of people sharing their 2 cents now. To the panel, I hope you guys don't mind. Let us read these comments. Are you guys, yeah, I think that's a thumbs up. So let's start with this intrigued me a while ago, Mr. John Watt. He shares with us that stress, anything that makes me uncomfortable, how I handle it, change in perspective, be brave to reverse it. This is very enlightening because stress spelled backwards is desserts. Amazing. That is a new perspective. Thank you so much, Sir John Watt. That is very
Stress
amazing to hear.
eating naman yan.
But it's a great tip. This is how he handles it. It's amazing. Thank you, sir, for sharing us your 2 cents. Next, we have from Miggy. I think this is Miggy Dizon. Hi. Thank you for joining us. The stress makes the mariner tougher. Thank you for that. That is very enlightening. Next, we have from Mr. Colon. Thank you for joining us today. Good afternoon. Stress is when you prepare your essay up to 3 and praying that your students will all get high scores. Wow. That is, I think all the teachers can relate to this, you know. So thank you for those 2 cents. And now we actually proceed to our next segment. It's called In Focus. So again, as we mentioned before, that this show is a safe space wherein mariners, teachers, students can share all their opinions, their tips on how we handle these things. And since we're talking about stress, from the teachers, from our teacher, Mr. Lidos, from our student, Anton Pez, and from me, how do you guys handle stress and what are your tips that you would like to share to our viewers right now? Because hindi lang naman tayo ang nasa-stress, di ba? Marami naman sa atin na nagsistress. And in fact, hindi lang naman once na experience ang stress, mas sobrang ano yan. You never know when it hits, right? So we ask, what are your tips on how to handle stress? Sir Linus, you can start again as tips for the teachers.
Okay, so ngayon hindi lang ako teacher, no. I'm also a student. So I am attending my graduate studies. So additional stress din siya. So you have work, 'di ba, sa umaga, then I attend my graduate studies sa gabi. So yon, isa pa siyang nakakadagdag ng stress right now sa akin. Pero one thing that I do is kasi yung stress naman talaga is andyan siya lagi. Okay? Every day we struggle, and mahalaga yan, every day we have to struggle, di ba? Pero yung mapapayo ko for everyone is to come up with a daily schedule. It's very important for you to have structure yung inyong araw. So ialat mo yan, ialat mo yung mga oras na kailangan mong gawin. So yan, daily schedule. If you need to accomplish a particular task, kalimitan gusto natin gawin ito isang bagsakan, di ba, in one go. Pero pwede mo siyang gawin distributed. Okay, i-distribute mo. For example, Monday, you allot 30 minutes. Tuesday, you allot 30 minutes. Wednesday, 30 minutes. Thursday, hanggang Friday, 30 minutes. Di ba? So, distributed. Ganun din sa pag-aaral. So, tips sa mga students, no? For senior high school, midterm is around the corner, okay? Yung inyong midterm exams. So starting pa lang ngayon, start to review na, okay? Para yung weekend before the midterms week, hindi kayo mag-aaral ng isang bagsakan. So ngayon pa lang, you start reviewing your notes, your past lessons, 15 minutes daily, di ba? Hanggang midterms week para mas yung retention ng information. So yon, daily schedule, distributed space para maiwasan yung fatigue natin, and lastly, para madali lang, 3 lang yung points na bibigyan. And lastly, reward yourself. Okay, so reward yourself. For example, after finishing one task, di ba? So reward yourself. Okay, pag na-accomplish mo lahat yung nasa to-do list mo, di ba? One episode of your favorite show, di ba? So ganon. At the end of the day, di ba? So, or eat your favorite food, di ba? So, yan. Reward yourself para, ma-motivate ka. So, 3 lang. Schedule, distributed practice, and reward yourself. That's how I handle stress.
All right. Thank you, Sir Linus. Again, to our viewers, you please share us your tips so that we can feature you in today's episode. So, Anton Peza, what are your tips on how to handle stress?
Oh, so actually, one of Sir's points is really good. So it's about formulating a schedule for the day. So for me personally, I actually have a calendar about what I will do for the day. And I think one of the most important things we need to know is to be mindful about the things that are happening to us. Because if we forget about a one thing, it might be something big, and you might stress over it. And as you all know, I don't think cramming is really good for all of us, even if many people around us actually side with the fact of cramming because it's actually a way to push our own selves. Then another important advice and tip is actually to sleep early, get a lot of sleep because it gives you the energy for the next day. Then, as Sir said, reward yourself. Eat the food you like. Don't be too hard on yourself because there's some expectations we cannot reach. There's some expectations we can't control. So set an expectation that is reachable, but when you reach it, target for something new. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Anton. So if I may share my tips. So let's face it, talaga naman as a student, normally stress talaga manggagaling yan sa ACADS natin, sa mga requirements, sa mga extracurricular minsan. And I have actually many ways to deal with stress. Usually, when I feel overwhelmed, usually in yung mga times kasi na I feel stressed, pag feeling ko ang dami na kailangan gawin, ang dami kailangan ipasa. Usually what I do is, I take a shower. Kahit a long periodical shower, tapos minsan pinaglalaroan ko pala kasi may music ako habang naliligo. Minsan pag feeling ko ang lungkot ko, dapat malamig yung tubig. Pero pag sobrang energetic ko, dapat mainit yung tubig. Something like that. Because as you think about what all your requirements, you get to assess. Siguro you get to make a schedule, as Sir Linus said. You get to practice the virtue of order in picking your battles and all of that. And again, second thing I'd like to share is pick your battles as well. Because again, sometimes there are things we just can't control, but the only thing we can control is how we react to these situations. No. And lastly, I guess I'd like to share is pick something that can accompany you while overcoming the stress. So again, I share na I'm a music lover. So usually I find this certain album that okay, I think this will help me. I'm a big fan of K-pop, by the way. Shout out to all the K-pop fans out there. I'm a fan of K-pop, so parang I want to get this done fast. Okay, let's do this energetic. Okay, let's do this. So talagang na-hype ka, talagang excited kang gawin, excited kang matapos. And pag natapos mo yung task mo, hindi ka na stress, masaya ka kasi nagawa mo to all on your own. So I guess that's all I'd like to share. And we even have, sorry, just to quick butt in, Stan Luna. Thank you, K Craze, Stan Luna. Thank you so much. So that actually is the end of our first In Focus today. We actually have another In Focus topic that is prepared for you guys. So before we continue, let's read a couple of insights from our viewers. So Mr. Colon on how tips to handle stress. He says that reward yourself with something that will feel you better after finishing something. 2 hours of work is equal to 15 to 30 minutes of rest or games or series. Thank you for that insight, Mr. Colon. Next, we can have, we have Dr. Eric Santos. De-stress by walking in the garden, looking at greens, also get some sunlight. Yes, I actually agree. Yes, Sir Linus, would you like to say something?
Yeah, there is a scientific basis for that, no? Yung looking at greens. Kaya maganda yung may mga plants tayo inside because it eases eye strain, di ba? So may study dyan tungkol sa mga sa pagtingin sa malayo or pagtingin sa mga green like plants.
Yes, all right. Thank you so much.
Dr. Here, stress also leads to skin disorders like psoriasis or eczema. Yeah, correct. So yun nga yung mga physical manifestation ng stress, no? Ako yung physical manifestation sa akin ng stress is back pain, back and neck pain. Alam ko na super stress ako pag sobrang sakit ng back and yung neck. Okay, so that's a manifestation sa akin. Iba-iba sa atin. Yung iba malala, yun nga, yung iba talagang psoriasis, sabi ni Doc.
Okay, thank you. What about, Sir Linus, what about you, Anton Beza? Do you have any indicators pag feeling mo na stress ka na? Is there anything that's happening biologically or physically or what's up?
Actually, when I get stressed, like my whole mind gets messed up and I start having a hard time breathing. So I really try to refrain it as much as possible because if I lose my breathing, I might have a hard time working on it because physically I'm really in need of rest. So
okay, thank you. So I think we can already stop talking about stress kasi I think nasi-stress na rin yung ating panel. No, if I'm not mistaken. So before we continue to our next In Focus, I would like to look at I would like everyone to check this comment out from Martin Bergverabe, one of our esteemed alumni. Hi, Lucas Horacio Torosa. Hello, Martin. Kuya Martin, thank you for joining us today. Grabe, miss na kita, kuya. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a great time watching our show. So we actually proceed to our next in focus, and that is your highlights of the week. So again, for our dear viewers, our actual target kasi is usually 30 to 45 minutes of a broadcast, and we're still 26 minutes in. So we actually prepared only a few topics kasi we want to introduce this lang naman to all of you. But if you guys have any suggestions for our new episodes, or if you want to join our team, make sure to give us a message at our socials. We are accepting at facebook.com/fortibusnf, or you may email us at fortibus@parifnorthfield.edu.ph. So, to the panel, what are your highlights of the week? Would you like to share something significant na nangyari sa inyo this week na I don't know, you would like to share to our viewers? Baka they might find inspiration on it or something like that. And before you guys get to answer, again, our viewers, if you guys would like to share also your highlights of the week or tips on how to handle stress or your answers from our past topics, please feel free to do so as we will acknowledge you guys later. And also sa mga magpapa-shoutout dyan, yung mga may nakita ko kanina exclamation point notify para tayo nagsistream ng Mobile Legends. So sa mga gusto magpa-shoutout dyan, guys, make sure to just leave a comment as we will acknowledge you later. So again, I would like to ask the group, what are your highlights of the week? Anything you guys would like to share? So Linus, yeah, we can start with you again.
Highlights of the week. Well, it's the usual week. Maraming nangyayari both at work and both at school. As I've mentioned, ayun, kasi simula nga ng SEM sa aking graduate study. So I think ito yung highlight ngayon. So ano siya, something that I need to take into consideration. Ayan, pag ginagawa ko yung schedule ko na ngayon. Kasi I have to prepare. Remote learning setup din, yung pagtuturo ko ngayon sa students sa senior high, remote learning setup, pati yung studies quiz remote learning setup. So you have to prepare a lot. Kasi most of the activities are done online. Okay, so you have to video yourself. So yun yung kalimitang activities na pinapagawa sa akin. So I think that's the highlight of my week.
Okay. So yeah, thank you, sir. So Anton Pesa, would you like to share any highlight that you had this week?
It's actually really hard. I suppose it's the fact that we're back in. We have another week of school, and the chances of learning, we get to learn new things again. And there's something that we can implement in life. But if I had to pick one, I suppose it would be the day we had MIL, and Sir was basically having a Q&A with all of us where we talked about different topics like fake news, media, what do you call that? The politicians, and of course, like the political spectrum. So that really stood out because I learned a lot that day, and I got a lot of insights that were so wonderful to hear that I didn't think of it actually at first glance and first thoughts. So, yeah.
Wow, thank you for that, Anton.
Thank you, sir, for having that class.
Okay.
Yes, once again, for our viewers, Mr. Calderon is actually our MIL teacher. And we are... Oh, the
That is a
pagsabihan.
harmful comment. That is a harmful comment.
Okay, Ago, I think we can remove that now. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So I guess my highlight of the week was, again, this is about music. I was able to discover a new artist, and I was able to find a new album. So I don't know if you guys know this person. Check him out. His name is Jacob Collier. He reminds me of a certain teacher that we have. I'll not share his name. But he's a very good artist, okay? And his musicality and the way he does things is like very amazing. And I like to give a shout out to a friend, Lance Blanche, for introducing me to this amazing artist. He basically gave me a new perspective in life. And also, I guess the highlight of the week is actually getting to do this for FortiKast, our first episode. Because to our viewers, the first time we did this was about, I think, 2 to 3 weeks ago. And it was just a trial episode. And what we did was, it was very private. It was just with Sir Burns Kaasi, our moderator for FortiBus, will actually join us in the next few episodes. and it was just the four of us talking, and I just asked our staff, our members, to just critique this, tell us what you think. We're like, oh, it's really nice, make it longer, galo, galo. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to share our insights and share this afternoon with you guys. So I guess that's my highlight of the week. And as we're slowly coming, oh, thank you so much. At Juju, this show is my week's highlight. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Wow.
much, donation, the star donation. Maraming salamat. I hope you had a great week, Juju. So before we end, we actually would like to close with our closing segment with the Mariners. So Agu, I hope you can hear us. Maybe you can check out a few comments so that we can give our shout outs. Or maybe I think we saw a couple of teachers there or guests who have given tips on how to handle stress and all that. Let me check out. Sorry. Mr. Toralba, yes, he says he prays. Thank you so much for that tip, Mr. Toralba. And yes, I agree with this. I think during this quarantine, it is a struggle to be at one with our spiritual. Is that correct? Spiritual connection. But it's very hard to be one with God because we can't really receive the sacraments as of now. No. So thank you for that wonderful reminder, Mr. Toralba. And next, I guess, if you guys have anyone to give a shout out, gusto niyo magpa-shout out, feel free to do so. Right, or shout out to the members of FortiKast. Thank you, Mr. John Watt. We will make sure that this shout out will be accommodated. Is that the right term? I'm not really sure. So, so before we officially end, let's close. We can actually close the show. So, Mr. Calderon, Anton Peza, any parting words for our viewers today? Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Calderon, any parting words for our viewers?
Final words, let us remember as mariners what are our core values: hope, humility, order, piety, and excellence. So this is also one way to combat stress. Of course, we set our hope in God, of course, knowing that He will support us, knowing that His grace is enough. Okay, order. When we put order, when we create schedule, we put order in our day. There are few of may mga alam niyo nakikita natin kasi sa remote learning setup minsan puro negative. Pero think of the positive din. Ano yung positive? Nabawasan yung oras natin mag-commute. Yung oras na mag-commute and mag-prepare sa morning, ano siya, extended sleep para sa atin, di ba? Hindi tulad dati na you have to wake up at 4:30 or 5 and prepare kasi 8 may class na. Ngayon, you get an hour and a half of extra sleep. That's one positive thing. Another is that you can save money sa pagko-commute and foods, 'di ba? Kasi sa bahay ka na nagtatrabaho, nag-aaral ngayon. So, yeah, let us look at the positive side din para hindi rin puro negative yung nakikita natin. So, humility, order, piety, of course, do not forget to meditate, do not forget to pray. Mahalaga 'yan talaga kasi hindi lang tayo body, 'di ba? We are body and soul. And of course, excellence. We should strive to do well no matter kung anong setup natin, face-to-face ba or remote learning setup. So, yon. Humility, order, piety, and excellence. Core values of a mariner.
Thank you for that wonderful closing comment, Mr. Calderon. Anton Peza, any closing words for our viewers?
First of all, to everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this live stream. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you subscribe again for the next episode. So, I think one thing I would say is just everyone, please keep a positive mindset, as Sir Linus said. Let's try to enjoy the struggles. Let's try to enjoy this situation. Actually, like even if the situation is really unfortunate, let's try to find the joy in what's happening now. Let's try to reach out, find new things, and let's go beyond the limitations and the impossibilities that people think are impossible at this time and stage. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Anton, Sir Linus. And I guess as one of the main hosts of this show, first of all, sorry kung bitin. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna have more episodes soon, and next week it's actually the birth month of our school, October 2, Friday. It's actually the birthday, foundation day of the school. So expect our special episode coming soon, all right? School 26th year special. Sorry, medyo naglagot ako. So, sorry. So, again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you guys. Again, thank you to my panel. Sorry, my panel here for joining us. Again, hindi ito ang huli. Simula pa lang ito. And I guess all I'm trying to say is, pag may pinagdadaanan ka, daanan mo lang. Wag mong tambayan. So that is all. We thank you for joining us. We have
Okay. Yes, so great to see this. We founded Fortibus back in 2002. Kudos to you all. Thank you, Thomas, for watching.
Thank you.
Yes, positive mindset, not COVID positive.
Thank you, Mr. Ovejo. That's amazing. Next,
And,
wait,
yeah.
Davi. Highlight of the week. Yes, I think we all missed the chicken nuggets and siomai.
Chicken nuggets.
Yes,
And yes, again, I don't know if tayo lang ang naka-experience, pero we were having class this morning. Tapos bigla kami tinanggal. Akala ko ako lang ang nawalan ng internet. Sabi ko, patay, ano mangyayari? And it turns out the whole school pala had trouble with Chrome. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Turalba. So I guess this marks the end. We thank you for joining us today's episode. We hope you had a great time and you learned something new today. Virtus in Veritate. There is strength in virtue. See you all in our next episodes. This has been FortiKast Radio online show together with Linus, Anton, Lucas, and Agu. God bless and stay safe. Have a happy weekend, guys. Happy Friday to all of you. See you on our next episodes. Goodbye.
Bye.